Alright fellas, Jonathan Alice here, and today we're going to review my new bass guitar, Ibanez GSR206 Walnut Flat. As you all know, I'm a metalhead myself, and since I moved to the UK, I haven't played any basses. So it's been like 1.5 years, almost 2 years without playing a bass, and it literally was driving me crazy, man. I can't even describe how sad I was. So, in order to change that, I decided to save in a few bucks, and after a time doing so, now I finally got the amount of money needed to go for my first bass. First, yeah, I used to have basses before, but yeah, I think you got me. But then, what model should I go for? I've been noticing a new trend going on of people going for Dingwall basses and other extremely expensive models in order to play metal and other genres like that. And then I started thinking to myself, man, is it really necessary to break the bank on your first go if you want to play metal and stuff like that? Like, don't get me wrong, I like the Dingwall thing and I think it looks dope and it's so nice, but it's simply too expensive. And yeah, one day I wish to afford one, and I probably will, but it's just not the right time for me at the moment. In order to change that and have a nice bass at an affordable and reasonable price, I started doing the research. After watching a few reviews, I found that this model, the GSR206, is really responsive. It has a really nice and bright tone, and with the right adjustments, it would provide me with the exact tone I'm going for. Now, I'm gonna show you how it sounds. First off, plugged on a 15 watts amp. It's this little thing here. I think I spent what, 10 bucks on a second-hand one. I didn't even bother going for a brand new one. So this is just a sturdy amp, yeah. And you will see how good it sounded on this little gear over there. And I will show you how it sounded as well on my DAW. My digital audio workstation is the FL Studio 20, and I used a few amplitude effects on it. So yeah, that's basically what I used. I didn't do any magics or stuff like that. Alright folks, this is the bass, Ibanez GSR206. The model is the Walnut flat version. And the reason why I went for this one is because I basically wanted a bass that looked exactly like this with the wooden finish. And it turned out to be a good choice. Because I remember when I played a few other six-string basses, I didn't feel very comfortable with the finish, like polished. So I remember also that I had before played the bass exactly with the wooden finish and felt very comfortable. So this is something that suited what I wanted. And it turned out also to be a good choice because it is very lightweight. If you see, the body is really thin, and my previous six-string bass would make me feel backache straight after 15 or 20 minutes standing up with it when I went on a gig or something playing six-string bass, and it would be very uncomfortable, which made me a lot of times go for the four-string bass instead of my six-string, exactly because of the weight. When I felt how light this is, I felt like, man, I'm not returning this, because even though I hadn't yet tested if there were any buzzers, when I saw and I felt how light this is, it got me straight, man. So yeah, this is something that I look for and I watch out for when I test an instrument and when I pick up an instrument to test in a music store or something. Because the big picture is you're going to hold an instrument for a lot of time if you're playing live. So this is important. Your health is important as well. So watch out for these things too. As far as I'm concerned, these are humbuckers. That means there won't be any noises if you're holding the bass without blocking the strings, which happens a lot if you're using a single coil pickup. You have here 3 tones, which I will show you on the test, on the sound check. And this is an advantage and also a disadvantage. It depends on the perspective. This bass is an active version, which means there's a battery inside of it. And basically, if you have this battery in, it makes your bass sound extremely powerful. On the other hand, if you remove the battery, the sound literally dies. So, This is not a big deal for me because batteries are not that expensive. So if I ran out of battery, I just go to my store, which is on the other side of the road, and I buy another one. So it's not a problem for me. Two things I watch out for when I'm testing an instrument are basically the action of the strings and if there are any buzzes on the neck. So basically what action is the string height compared to the neck itself. So if a string is too high in relation to the neck, when you're gonna press down that string to fret a note, you have to use a lot of strength, and that will definitely harm you on the long run. You want to avoid it at all costs. So to sort that issue, you have to work on your saddles using an Allen key. If you see here, these screws are basically Allen screws, and that L-shaped key is an Allen key. You put it here and you adjust the height of the saddles, which will automatically adjust the height of the strings. When I checked out this bass straight out of the box, I noticed that the strings were low, too low actually. And at first I felt very comfortable, like, oh my god, I'm playing effortlessly, which means the strings are comfortably low. But I started to notice a lot of buzzes going on in a few places, especially around the beginning of the neck. So I felt like, man, I'll have to adjust a few things here and there. The strings are okay. I'm feeling it's okay to play, but at the beginning of the neck, there were lots of buzzes. So I had to use the keys that came together with the bass. Yeah, you don't need to buy any extra stuff. They come together with the product. So I just had to adjust. If you come to check it, you see that the heights are a little bit different. I don't know if you'll be able to notice that difference, but the higher strings are closer to the body, whilst the lower strings are higher related to the body, and that's how I managed to sort my issue. I think that no instrument comes straight out of the factory regulated and all adjust. You always need to do a few adjustments, even because the instrument will be yours and it's gotta be comfortable for you. So yeah, that's why it comes with keys so that you can do that yourself. And yeah, always check fret by fret to see if you find any buzzes. When I bought a bass, it was not an Ibanez, it was a Red Sub. Yeah, I bought a Red Sub bass and it came with loads and loads of buzzes and I had to return it. Even though I had done the same procedure with the saddles, I simply returned it because it wasn't playable. So yeah, this is something I watch out for, and I'd say this bass comes playable straight out of the box. The adjustments it requires are expected, so this is not a flaw, it's just normal procedure. And yeah, once you solve this issue that prevents you from playing straight out of the box, yeah, it's playable. So it takes only like 5 minutes. You can take it to a luthier, but I don't really think it's necessary. It's a DIY thing. So yeah, without further ado, let's check how this thing sounds. So basically that's how it sounds like, and it's incredible, isn't it? I regret nothing. I would buy it again if I needed to. I intend to buy a 4-string version of it eventually, And I also recorded a sound check covering a song from Intervals, one of my favorite bands. The name of the song is Vanta Black. It will be right here. So click on it and check for yourself how good this bass sounds. I hope this video is of help. And yeah, see you on the next video. Cheers.